Jamaica, I want to address the issue of crime and violence in Jamaica. But I want to address this issue using words from the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, and it's not to simplify the issue, but it's to make it clear, crystal clear, why as a country we go through the things that we go through. I want to begin with a quote that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. made from Victor Hugo, where he says, if the soul is left in darkness, sins will be committed. But the guilty party is not he who commits the sin, but he who spreads the darkness. I quote from study guide number 21, the new educational paradigm. All the prophets and messengers of God and the sages that are recorded in history brought with them knowledge or a light. Education must guide the civilization. And I add, education is the torchlight for civilization. And inherent in the education is the idea that fuels the civilization. At the root of every civilization is a knowledge, inherent in which is an idea that gives energy and direction to that civilization. What is the prevailing idea at the root of the knowledge? Of the knowledge that has produced our present civilization. The idea, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us, is the idea of dominion and rule. And I had divide and rule. President Woodrow Wilson, who was also president of Princeton University, said, "We want a class of persons to have a liberal education, and we want another class of persons, a very much larger class, of necessity to forego the privilege of a liberal education and fit themselves to perform specific, difficult manual tasks." President Woodrow Wilson was saying, we want a labor force, we want a working class that will work for the rich and be the engine to fuel the idea of the rich. The idea at the root of Western education is that which controls Africa, Asia, Latin America, North America, and the entire world. So when black, brown, Asian, and Arab students come to get Western education, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan says, they also get baptized into that idea of the dominion of a superior, dominant people. Africa cannot develop because our scholars are educated in Europe and America. And they have that idea in their head that makes them sick and makes them abusers of their people. The Right Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey said, the present day Negro or colored intellectual is no less a liar and a cunning thief than his illustrious teacher is Occidental, meaning Western collegiate training, only fits him to be a rogue and a vagabond and a seeker after the easiest and best by following the line of least resistance. Marcus Garvey is saying that our leadership, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is saying, our leadership with the idea that governs Western civilization, who have been baptized in that idea, can be no better as leaders than the white man himself, who is the architect of this civilization. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says this civilization is dying. And just like a light bulb flickers on its way out, what we are looking at is a civilization that is on its way out, and therefore every sign is the sign of darkness. In the educational system, in every other system. But when we look at the educational system, we see babies now being taught to be other than themselves. We see
but you know, I want to say this in closing, that gangster rap is really a mirror of American society. They are young people being gangsters, playing gangster. But the real gangsters are in the White House with suits on that destabilize governments, murder leaders, gangsters in the State House, gangsters in City Hall, gangsters in corporate America. Only these young people are bringing it all out in the open. So before you curse the fruit, check the tree that produced it.
And we'll be back in just a moment.